My wife, Sarah, and I had what I thought was the perfect marriage. We were high school sweethearts, the couple everyone envied. We built a life together, brick by brick, filled with laughter, dreams, and what I believed was unwavering trust. That trust, however, turned out to be a house of cards. And a single text message was the gust of wind that brought it all crashing down. It was a Tuesday evening. Sarah was out late for what she called a work dinner. I was on the couch, half watching some show, when her iPad, synced to her phone, lit up. The name on the screen was Marcus. The message was simple but devastating. Last night was incredible. Can't stop thinking about you. Same time next week. My world stopped. Marcus. I didn't know a Marcus. My mind raced, trying to find a logical, innocent explanation, but my gut knew better. The blood drained from my face, and a cold dread washed over me. This wasn't a work dinner. This was an affair. I spent the rest of that night in a daze, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of our life together. Were there signs I missed? The late nights, the sudden secretiveness with her phone, the emotional distance that had grown between us? I had chalked it up to stress from her demanding job. Now, I saw it for what it was, a betrayal. Rage came first, hot and blinding. I wanted to smash things, to confront her the moment she walked through the door. But as the initial shock wore off, a different feeling took root, a cold, calculating resolve. Simple, messy confrontation wouldn't do. She had methodically dismantled our life together in secret. I would methodically dismantle hers in public. I needed a plan. Revenge, I decided, is a dish best served cold, and I was about to become a Michelin star chef. The first step was to gather evidence. I needed undeniable proof, not just for myself, but for the world to see. I became a private investigator in my own home. I installed discreet software on her devices, giving me access to her messages, emails, and location history. The picture that emerged was more sordid than I could have imagined. Marcus wasn't just a one-time mistake. He was a long-term affair. They had trips, secret rendezvous, a whole second life built on my dime and my trust. The text messages were a goldmine. They talked about everything, from their secret meetings to their critiques of me. They called me boring, predictable, clueless. Every word was a knife in my heart, but it also fueled my determination. I saved every screenshot, every location log, every damning piece of evidence. I was building my case, meticulously, patiently. One particular set of messages caught my eye. They were planning a special weekend getaway for Sarah's upcoming birthday. They were going to a fancy resort, the kind of place we used to talk about visiting for our own anniversary. The irony was sickening. But it also gave me an idea, the centerpiece of my entire plan. Her birthday was the perfect stage for my grand finale. As I dug deeper into Marcus, I found his social media profiles. He was a successful, charismatic businessman, the kind of guy who oozed confidence. He was also married. His wife's name was Elizabeth. Quick search revealed her profile, and when I saw her picture, my blood ran cold for a second time. I felt like I'd been punched in the gut, the air knocked out of me. It was a face I knew intimately, a face I had loved my entire life. Elizabeth, Marcus's wife, was my mother. The world tilted on its axis. My wife was having an affair with my own stepfather, the man my mother had married a few years after my father passed away. The sheer twisted depravity of it was almost too much to comprehend. My mother, who adored Sarah, who treated her like the daughter she never had, and Sarah, who called my mother Mom, was sleeping with her husband. This changed everything. My plan for revenge was no longer just about a cheating wife. It was about protecting my mother from the same heartbreak I was experiencing from two people she loved and trusted most. My resolve hardened into steel. This wasn't just about exposing an affair. It was about delivering justice. The weeks leading up to Sarah's birthday were the hardest of my life. I had to play the part of the loving, oblivious husband. I helped her pack for her girl's weekend. I smiled and wished her a happy early birthday, my stomach churning with every lie that passed between us. She was giddy with excitement, completely unaware of the storm that was about to break. The day of her birthday arrived. I knew from her location data that she and Marcus had checked into the resort. I had already booked a table at the resort's exclusive restaurant for that evening, the same restaurant they planned to dine at. I also made one more crucial reservation. I picked up my mother, telling her I had a special birthday surprise for Sarah and wanted her to be a part of it. She was thrilled, talking nonstop on the drive about how wonderful Sarah was and how happy they made me. Each word was a fresh wound, but I held my composure. We arrived at the restaurant, saw them immediately, seated at a cozy table in the corner, holding hands, laughing. Sarah was radiant, glowing in a way I hadn't seen in years. The sight of them together, so happy in their betrayal, made my blood boil. "There they are," I said calmly to my mother, pointing them out. Her brow furrowed in confusion. "There's Sarah. But who is that with her? Oh. And why is he holding her hand?" Then her eyes widened as she recognized the man. Marcus. What is Marcus doing here with Sarah? The confusion on her face slowly morphed into dawning horror. She looked from them to me, her mind struggling to connect the dots. I didn't need to say a word. I just gave her a sad, knowing look. At that moment, I walked toward their table. Sarah saw me first. The color drained from her face. Her smile vanished, replaced by sheer panic. Marcus looked up, annoyance flashing across his features before he recognized me. His confident smirk faltered. "Honey, what are you doing here?" Sarah stammered, her voice barely a whisper. "Happy birthday, sweetheart," I said, my voice dripping with false cheer. "I wanted to surprise you, and I brought a guest." I stepped aside, revealing my mother standing behind me, her face a mask of grief and disbelief. Her eyes were locked on her husband, Marcus. "Elizabeth." Marcus choked out, scrambling to his feet. The entire restaurant had gone quiet. All eyes were on our table. The drama was better than any floor show. Sarah looked at my mother, then at Marcus, then back at me. The realization of what was happening hit her like a physical blow. This wasn't just a confrontation, it was a public detonation. "I know everything, Sarah," I said, my voice low and steady. "I know about the texts, the secret trips, the lies. I know all about Marcus." I then turned to Marcus. "And you, sleeping with your own stepson's wife? In the same family? You're a special kind of disgusting." My mother finally found her voice, a broken sob escaping her lips. "How could you, both of you?" she cried, looking between her husband and the woman she treated as a daughter. Sarah just sat there, frozen, her face pale, tears streaming down her cheeks. Her perfect life, her secret world, had been utterly and completely annihilated in a matter of minutes. She had lost her husband, her reputation, and the love and respect of a woman who had been a mother to her. She had nothing left. I looked at the wreckage of our two families, the pain in my mother's eyes, the pathetic figures of Sarah and Marcus. There was no triumph in that moment, no sweet taste of victory, just a profound, aching emptiness. But as I took my mother's arm and gently led her away from the scene, I knew I had done the right thing. The truth, no matter how brutal, had to be exposed. The house of cards had fallen, and it was time to start rebuilding, this time on solid ground.